Notice that the more you wait and the more you want, the more you actually resist and push people away from doing what you actually want them to do. So with this, understand that one of the most important parts of attraction or having magnetic energy is the ability to not be attached, whether that's in attachment to the outcome, attachment to the way someone responds. However, remember this, people feel what you feel about them. So the thing is if you're waiting or wanting for somebody to text you, what you're doing is you're putting out this energy that you want something from them. You are desiring for them to act in a certain way or be a certain way, and they can literally feel that energy coming off of you. And in a weird way, it's almost like the rebellious teenager, or, it's like when somebody wants you to do something, there's this energetic play that goes on where they actually end up doing the opposite. So the key to this process of understanding the waiting is the more you wait, the more you resist. So the key is the letting go, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. How to let go of outcome, how to let go of attachment, and how that actually makes you more magnetic and more attractive. Now, first off, there's this common, you may have heard me talk in my other videos about this, but when we grow up, many of us go through maybe a spiritual awakening, or we grow up and we have this mentality where a lot of times when we were kids, we may have gone through some type of childhood trauma or some type of pain where we tune ourselves to other people. And when we tune ourselves to other people as kids, we do that as a safety mechanism in order to get a sense of safety in our reality. And the thing is as we grow up, we keep that mentality alive, and then we're still tuning to other people for validation, tuning to other people for support. And the challenge with this is what a lot of times happens energetically is then we go from being the star of our own movie to being the cameo in someone else's movie. And the cameo in someone else's movie might be waiting for someone else, might be waiting for someone to do something, and then that ends up, of course, the more you wait, the more you resist. And what we can begin to really see is that the energy play that goes on is that people are literally pinging themselves off of your energy. And you have a lot more ability to influence your reality than you think. It was interesting. I was at the airport like yesterday, 2 days ago, and at the airport there was this, we were in the line for going through that like stupid little x-ray thing where it like goes around and makes sure you don't have anything on you, and you have all your stuff going into the carousel thing. And there was somebody that was it was like the line was getting backed up more and more because they were having to like check somebody. And then this lady comes to the side and she starts just yelling like, come through this little side door thing so you don't have to go through the x-ray thing, which is actually nice because I don't want to go through the x-ray thing. But it was interesting because at first she's like, come this way, but a couple people didn't know if she was talking to them. So then she like raised her voice. She actually started yelling. She's like, this way, this way. But what was interesting to me is just how much sometimes the crowd, or like the herd mentality almost, it's like people are just waiting for direction. People are just waiting, and based on the energy we give people are pinging off of that. So you have much more ability to influence your reality, but the thing that you don't want to get into the habit of is influencing your reality where you're trying to manipulate it, because manipulation is a form of control. And if you're waiting for someone's text, if you're waiting for someone's validation, and a lot of times what you might do is you might have clicked on this video and you might be like, oh, what do I have to do? What do I have to do so I can actually get that, so I can stop waiting? Then that's an end result that is a means to an end. And when something is a means to an end, it's another form of control. You're then also not present to the moment. And one of the most attractive things you can do for your energy is to actually be present. It's to be in the moment. It's to not be attached to outcome. It's to not need someone's validation, someone's approval, someone to text you back. So understand that for this process, though, one thing that you have to make the shift of is you have to decide, I am not the cameo in anyone else's movie. I am the star of my own movie. Now, as I say that, though, it doesn't mean that there's like a level of narcissism that you have to create and you have to control everything. It's more so a recognition that if you're putting energy on somebody else, and you may be subconsciously doing that to get someone else's approval or validation, because as a kid, that's what you had to do in order to stay safe, then you are diffusing your own energy and you're diluting it. And instead of doing that, what I found in my own life to be powerful is to actually focus on myself. Because sometimes to get other people's validation or text or whatever, we're looking to fill something inside of ourselves because we want to feel whole, we want to feel complete, we want to feel validated. And as not cheesy as it sounds, but as like, I know it's annoying to hear, but it's like we really do have to give ourselves the validation that we're craving in other people. And we have to put the attention and the awareness back on self. So what we have to really do is reel our energy back in. And that's what I'm going to recommend you do. Is instead of waiting, end up putting your attention. You guys can walk around. Don't worry about it. So it's a process of understanding that the way your energy works is the more, it's going to sound cheesy, but the more embodied you are. I went to I was at one time this life transformation place in Costa Rica. I'm actually in Costa Rica right now. And there was this energy worker, not energy worker, she gave a TED talk, I forget her name. It was Dr. Sue or something. But anyways, she did this thing where all of us were in this audience, and she was giving a speech and talking about energy. And she said, right now, I want you guys to project all of your energy onto me. So send me energy, send me energy, send me energy. And as we were sending her energy and like projecting her energy at her, you want to know what she said? She said that intuitively or instinctively, it makes her want to back up. It makes her want to run. Because the energy is being projected. It's a control. It's an attachment to the outcome. But instead, she said, now I want you guys to do something else. I want you guys to put the awareness in your hands and your feet. I want you guys to bring the attention inside of your body and to feel really present to the moment. And she said that as the crowd was doing that, it was only like 50 people, but as everyone was doing that, she would feel this pull towards us. So it's kind of like a magnet. The way a magnet works is obviously it's either attracting or pulling towards, or it's pushing away and repelling. And the more you wait, the more attached to outcome you are, energetically, the more you're repelling. Now, the other side of this, though, is think about it in terms of vibration. If we're in the present moment right now, and we're saying, this moment right now, I'm waiting. If we're waiting, we're looking for an outcome. We're looking for an end result. And we're then using and manipulating this moment to then get to some other moment. And what we're vibrationally saying is, this moment is not good enough the way it is. I wish it would change. That's called resistance. And the more we're saying right now in the present moment, this moment's not good enough, I want something else. This moment's not good enough, I want something else. This moment's not good enough, I want something else. The more we are actually showing that we have lack in reality. And remember, reality is simply reflecting back the energy we are embodying and what we believe to be true about it. So the vibration of wanting something and the vibration of having something and even the vibration of being something are completely separate vibrations. They're completely separate realities. So to move from wanting into being, the key is realizing that you have the energy inside you right now to feel the emotions you want to feel. It's in you right now. And all you have to do is give yourself permission to feel that. Give yourself permission to feel that self-validation, the self-approval, the self-love, the self-gratitude. But what you might say is, well, it sounds really easy, Aaron. It sounds easy, just feel it now. How am I supposed to feel it if I never know what that's like? But what you'll notice is that when and if you look into your childhood and you look at the meanings, the beliefs you may have given things when you were a kid, you can start to unwind and unknot a lot of those. And I'll tell you, a lot of times when it comes to this, what I noticed in the spiritual community a lot, something I had to deal with, was understanding people-pleasing. People-pleasing is this necessity. It's also something called anxious attachment style. It's a side of it. Most of the time, the people-pleasing mentality would go under that category between anxious and avoidant and secure attachment. But what that has resulted in, and one of the keys, if you're waiting for, something on the outside to change like that. What has happened is there is a feeling of incompleteness that has stemmed from childhood because as a child you may have felt abandoned, either emotionally, physically, spiritually. And the abandonment happens. And what happens is we then tune to other people to stay safe, to feel safe. So what we do is we tune to them, looking for the validation, looking for the love, looking to the support. And what we end up doing is we don't realize it, but what we've done is we've actually abandoned ourselves. And that's why it's so hard to set boundaries with other people, because it's like, well, I'm already changing myself to make everybody else happy. So it's like we don't realize it, but it's like we've already had the initial abandonment, or someone has abandoned us, so then we abandoned ourselves because we don't feel safe in our body, so we're tuning to everybody else, and we're tuning to someone else for that. So the key is to realize the abandonment and to start coming back to self. Start coming back to your own energy. And realize that if your parents divorced, if you had an emotionally unavailable parent, if they didn't meet your needs, it's not your fault. It's not because you're not worthy. It's not because you're not good enough. Because then what we do is if we believe that core belief that happened when we're kids, we're then going to try to do everything we can to make everyone else happy so that we then don't get rejected again, because we can't bear to be rejected again because we remembered how bad it hurt when we were kids. So the key to the anxious attachment or the people-pleasing is to bring the energy back inside your own body. Bring the energy back to yourself and to start to be in your own frame. To be in your own frame means you're leading in your life. It is very attractive for you to be leading in your life, to have a clear sense of vision of who you are, what your values are. And I'll say this too, values as a people pleaser or somebody that felt abandoned, the values are kind of mixed up, where what you do is you value people's validation more than you value your own sense of integrity. So really what this is a process of switching up your values. I went to a Tony Robbins conference, and I used to always see him talk about this in his books. He always talk about values, and I was like, no, but these create reality. This value thing, I don't really resonate with it. But then I went to one of his programs, Date with Destiny, and I really started to understand that values are these virtues we live by. It's a part of our identity, and that stemmed from the values are the beliefs. So if we value being a good person, if we value making everyone else happy, if we value being the cameo in other people's movie, then what ends up happening, because that creates that sense of safety, then what ends up happening is we're diffusing our own energy. It's being projected outside of our field, outside of our bodies. It's almost like then what we have to do is we have to dilute our energy, and it goes outside of us because we're tuning to everything else, but then it's like there's less of that core frequency, there's less of that core energy that's like emanating. So this is really a process of awareness. It's becoming aware of the values you have and the childhood trauma that you might have that is rooted in whatever happened, and then bringing the energy back to self, becoming the star of your own movie, leading in your life, being in your own frame. And as you do all of this, what you'll find is that your energy becomes more magnetic than ever. Now, if you want to get to the core of that childhood trauma, the most powerful meditation I've ever made is an inner child healing meditation. You can click the link below or go to aarondowdy.com/child. It's a meditation where we go to Kauai, Hawaii, and what we do is we bring forth our inner child and we connect to this energy field. And it helps us to reclaim our inner child and heal that energy so that then our whole entire life transforms on the outside. So to summarize, realize that the key to this whole entire process is bringing the energy back to self, leading in your life, letting go and stop abandoning yourself, have no problem setting boundaries, and realize the more you wait, the more you resist. So instead, let it go and realize what you really want to do is you really want to fill up your own cup deep down. Now, there is a video, the 5 secrets to letting go that make you attractive AF. It's one of my most popular videos. Click this video, watch this. This will help you wire in these concepts even deeper to make your energy more magnetic than ever. The less attached you are, the more attractive you are. People are attracted to somebody that is in their own frame and doesn't need something from them.